Next fight that we have is Brad Katona versus Garrett Armfield. Um, man, yeah, this is going to be an interesting fight. So Brad Katona, he's 13-2. He's 5-0 in his last five. He's coming off that decision victory over Cody Gibson. I think that was the Ultimate Fighter finale. I think that's how he won it, right? So
Hmm.
pretty good job on him. He's actually also Canadian. I didn't know that. His nationality is Canadian. He's fighting against Garrett Armfield, 9-3, 4-1 his last five. He's coming off that knockout against Kazama. That was that was an interesting way to win right there. Garrett's actually going to be the younger fighter here, and he will also have a 5.5 inch reach advantage. Let's go with the odds for this fight right now. Brad Katona is a minus 185. He opened up at a minus 155. So people have been steadily going towards the Katona route for this fight. Alex, what are your thoughts right here about Katona and Armfield?
Yeah, so interestingly, I kind of like Garrett Armfield in this spot as an underdog.
Nice.
I think he's actually pretty, technically, clean with his striking. Um, Armfield, although the same height as Katona, he will have a 5-inch reach advantage. Um, Armfield also trains out of Killcliff FC, so very good gym. And, for Katona, obviously his last fight, he was in an absolute war with Cody Gibson. I remember watching that fight; it was crazy. Um, it's funny because I rewatched it, and I thought it was funny because they kept mentioning that Cody Gibson was an AP English teacher. Um, yeah. Uh, so both guys took a lot of damage from that fight, and so that's what I noticed. But Katona, to his credit, he's never been submitted nor KO'd. And we know that Katona has very good cardio. So, it's going to be interesting to see if Armfield can get Katona out of there in the first or second round. Um, I just think that Armfield is a much cleaner striker than Cody, and Cody was able to, dish out a lot of damage. And I also think that Armfield was actually going toe to toe in the grappling exchanges with David Onama, and that was at featherweight. And so, um, yeah, I like Armfield's kind of like guts, and so yeah, give me Armfield in this matchup.
Nice. Yeah. Um, man, wish I could pick a side thoroughly here, but man, I feel like I'm gonna probably stay away from this too. Just a spoiler alert for this fight. So Brad, I think he's also solid all around. He's an Ultimate Fighter veteran. I mean, he's won two of these actually. He's won two tournaments of the Ultimate Fighter. So this is actually his second stint in the UFC. His striking, it's more so brawling. It can be technical when he needs it to, but I feel like this guy's more so of a brawler. He's able to close the distance pretty well, though, given his style and his reach. His good pop in his shots. I think he's a solid wrestler, likes to apply pressure and commit to those shooting, those takedowns, solid control as well. The one area that I really like about Katona and why I think that he is in the UFC is just his gas tank and his kind of overall durability. And this guy has really good cardio. I mean, to be able to win the Ultimate Fighter twice, where you're kind of fighting a whole bunch of fights condensed into a few, weeks or months, it shows you that this guy really loves to fight. Um, I think that that's where the separation is going to be. I mean, Garrett Armfield, I think he has solid skills, like you mentioned. I think that, the jab is good. He has good leg kick. He's able to also target the body as well for some body shots. His wrestling's also good. I mean, decent takedowns. I think his scrambles are okay as well. I do think that he has a cardio disadvantage here, though. And it's going to be interesting to see if the fight goes into round two and three where Katona is known to turn it on, right? This guy has proven to just keep that pace or even get better throughout the fight. Um, that's just why I'm leaning towards Brad by decision. It's like a low to mid confidence for me. I actually think that it's similar to what you said about Jasmine and the over 2.5, right? I feel like I'd rather have the over 2.5 because I don't think that personally I don't think that Armfield will finish Katona, and I don't think Katona will finish Armfield either, just based on these guys' skill set so far. So I think that I'd rather play the over 2.5 at minus 172, but most likely I'll decide by weigh-ins whether I want to even play this fight, either going by Brad by decision or the over 2.5. But for now, I think I'm just gonna stay away from it. But I could be convinced as we get closer and closer to weigh-ins because I think that it's a future prelim for a reason, and I think that they want to push one of these guys. So, and did you know that Brad was Canadian? I didn't know that. That's why I looked at it. I didn't know this guy was
I didn't know
from
either.
Canada. Yeah,
I saw on Tapology that he was Canadian, so I was like, oh,
yeah.
that's interesting.
It's very surprising. I thought this guy was not Canadian, so that's kind of weird.